Yeah, it's on, I think now. We'll come back to presentation. Yeah, it's on, I think now. We'll come back to yeah, so let's begin. So today's topic is all about our mind. They say we are happy and we are sad in our mind. In fact, if you see how much of our sufferings are physical, very minimal. Most of our suffering, most of our problems, they are all happening in the mind. So today we'll discuss about the impurities of our mind, which leads to much of our suffering, much of our mental problems, mental issues, your anxiety, depression, anything. And if you look at these impurities, you will find that we all have them, all of us, all the impurities, but in different measures. And but are we doing anything about it? Maybe not, and mostly not. So first we will see that what are these impurities? What are they? We'll briefly look at them. These are called the Shadripus, or the six impurities of the mind. And then we'll see why they are not good for our spiritual, mental, and as I said, even spiritual health. They're not good at all. In fact, purity of mind is considered so important, so important. We'll see it in the end, that if you want to make any progress in your spiritual journey, any progress, it's impossible without having the purity of mind. In fact, self-realization, I mean, whichever path you follow, take any of the four paths, unless you have the purity of mind, you will not reach your goal. So, as I said, we are so much careful about our physical health. We do our physical checkups. We check up. We drink RO water because the water otherwise is impure. We drink the RO water. We check the expiry. The moment we get every day morning, if we get the packet of the milk, we check, whether it is within the expiry date or not. But that's about our physical health. But do we check, do we do anything about our mental health? Often not. We let in all the garbage accumulate in our mind and then face the problems and then say what to do next. Unfortunately, for many of the things, there are no medicines as such. The problems which the impurities in the mind create, there are no medicines. There is no tablet or an antibiotic which you take, say कि मेरा jealousy खत्म हो जाएगा. My ego will dissolve. You don't get medicines like that. So you have to be very careful. In fact, they are the biggest threats to our personality. And as I said, not only affects your physical health, they affect your mental health as well. And most of our sufferings are attributable to these. The word Shadripu comes from the Sanskrit word Shat. Shat means, six. And Ripu means enemies. So they are called the Shat Ripus collectively. Uh, while all six of them pose a threat, all six of them are important, but we'll see the root cause, the source of the entire cycle is considered to be the first one. हम कहते हैं ना main culprit. So that is the first one, which is desire, kama. Even Bhagavad Gita very clearly, if you read the chapter 2, verses 62 and 63, so it clearly says that it starts with our desires. We develop a some sort of an attachment to our desires, and from there it says the ladder of destruction starts, unless you are able to check it. So all our scriptures have warned about these things. And we'll look at them and we'll see how to overcome them also. What are some of the practices that if you do, it will keep a check on the purity of your mind. They will not let the enemies take control of you. As I said, we all have them, we will have them, but the point to be noted, the thing which can be corrected is whether they become so overbearing on you that you become slaves to them. That we have to be careful about. And finally, as I said, we'll do a guided meditation. It's initially I had written 10 minutes, but while I was recording it, so there are six. I did not realize it ended up in 17 minutes. So the end, it will be a recorded thing. So we'll have a guided meditation based on the Shadripus. So if you just close your mind, they say just closing your mind, it cuts off 30% of your, the working of the brain. So close your minds with the guided meditation. I will address each of the six enemies and how to go about them. This is during meditation, but ultimately you will have to practice. So let's begin. Now, as I said, the Shadripus, they are the six inner enemies. When we talk of enemies of the mind is something not which is you find lying on the table. Mind is something which is inside us, very much inside us. So it is they mean the six inner enemies, and they are saying they are the fundamental obstacles. They are considered as very fundamental obstacles in Hindu philosophy, especially in Vedanta, yoga, and as well as I said, the Bhagavad Gita, which specifically, mentions about all these things. And if you see, these are, psychological and spiritual tendencies. And what they do, they cloud your judgment. They disturb your inner peace, and they are huge obstacles in self-realization, which, as you know, in Vedanta, they say the purpose of all our lives, only one purpose, which is self-realization. Go beyond the cycle of birth and rebirth. Now, as I said, they are inner enemies, so they arise also from within. And what they do basically, they distort the perception. है कुछ और कुछ दिखता है. They fuel your suffering. It is just like, there is a fire, और उसको आप अगर, if you try to douse the fire with some oil or ghee, so what will it do? It will increase the fire. So it fuels suffering same way. And they keep the mind attached to this cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. If you see the first line of our of our mantra, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, lead me from the unreal to the real. So basically, what you see outside world, as long as your desires are attached with objects which are outside, they are unreal. Unreal means not that, it's not real. The mouse is real, the everything is real. You can touch them, but they are not permanent in that sense. So basically what it does, it attaches the mind to the cycle of desire, and it doesn't lead to satisfaction. Since it is unreal, it leads to dissatisfaction. It is the perception we have that if I desire something, I will get happiness. So these Shadripus, as I said, they are within us, all of us. And the goal is basically not to suppress them, but to understand them. We have to understand the nature of these tendencies, transform them and transcend them. Basically, you go beyond these. Now, what are these Shadripus? Briefly, we'll see. The first one, as I said, the starting point of all, the main culprit is kama, uncontrolled desire or craving. Now, it arises basically out of our indriyas, gyanendriyas, the five senses that we have. We all have the five senses, we know. So now when a person has a pleasant experience with any object of the five senses, it could be a taste, you like something. It could be your sight, you love to see something. It could be your ears, love to hear something, or touch. That some touch might be pleasurable. So if you have a pleasant experience, it's a natural tendency that we develop an attraction to that object. हाँ, ये देखने में अच्छा लगा है और देखूंगा, ये खाने में अच्छा लगा है और खाऊंगा. It doesn't come in the first place. If you are having the ice cream for the first time, so there is no attachment to the ice cream. So first time you have it, so you like it. Yes, it is giving me some pleasure. So gradually the attachment starts. So the next time when you see ice cream, then you remember that, yes, that gave me happiness. So I want more ice cream. So more and more of the same thing, and more of different varieties. You go from vanilla to choco chips to butterscotch, like that. So that leads to attachment. Once you get attracted to the object through your five senses. So the starting point, that you experience pleasure out of the five senses, and then you like it. You like it, then you develop an attachment to that object. Now, this, if it happens constantly, what it leads to? It may lead to addiction. It may lead to addiction, and this can lead to a feeling of longing for the objects. You can go any distance. If you once you get addicted to it, आपको if you get addicted to a particular type of let's say parathe wali gali ka paratha, so you will go all the way to Chandni Chowk to have that paratha because you have developed an attachment to it. You think that yes, I got pleasure out of having that paratha. Now, it can be different types of desires, but the important thing here, it refers to uncontrolled craving. Desires per se is not harmful as long as you don't get attached to it. But when it becomes uncontrolled, almost to the level of addictions, that is bad. In fact, if they are healthy desires, they motivate life. I mean, if you develop a desire for healthy food, let us say, so it's good for you. If you develop a desire or an addiction to reading the holy scriptures, Upanishads, it's good for you. So what we are talking of desire of the five senses, which are basically not good for you. Now, what are the examples? Let's say, first, all of us again are in different measures. Social media addiction, let us say. Your smartphone. Can you imagine a day without a smartphone? And there was a time when we used to live without a smartphone also. When we were young, there was no smartphone. But still life went on quite well without that attachment. But now today, it seems if you ask a kid that, one day you will be without smartphone, he will say, then it's impossible. It's just not possible. Then again, as I said, it is uncontrolled craving. So uncontrolled urge to, for anything, as I mentioned about this paratha wali gali. So eat something, drink something. If it is uncontrolled, that's karma. Compulsive shopping today. Today, it's earlier you had to go to the shopping complex to do your shopping or the market to do your shopping. Today, it's just open the Amazon app, you get everything. Open the Zomato app, you don't have to go out for food. And then it gets into addiction. It gets into compulsive shopping. And then they lure you with your, the big billion days and your Black Friday sale, all those things, playing with your mind. Obsession with fame. How many likes you have, how many followers you are having in Instagram. Again, these are creation of the social media. In fact, any dopamine producing activities, dopamine, as you know, it's a hormone which, about your reward and pleasure system. So any dopamine producing activity can become addictive. And Bhagavad Gita, as I said, it clearly warns you. And it gives the letter of destruction. And in the end, it says that one is ruined. And it starts with a desire, a very innocent desire. Because initially, every desire looks very innocent. And if you allow it to dwell on your sensory objects, leads to attachment, leads to loss of wisdom, bewilderment, loss of intellect, and finish. One is ruined. Next comes krodha, anger. Again, a very important aspect. Again, directly, in fact, the verse 63 starts with anger, krodha. It is usually a response to a perceived threat. perceived threat. Sometimes the threat is not real. You may become angry when you lose your temper, when your opinion is ignored. आपने कुछ बोला, कोई सुना ही नहीं उसने, वो मुंह उधर करके चला गया, and you get angry. How dare? Or when you feel that you have been wronged. नहीं, उसको ये करना नहीं चाहिए था मेरे साथ. You get angry. Now, as we live our life, raga and dvesha, we develop strong likes and dislikes. We all have that, different forms. We like something, we do not like something. And it varies from person to person. Now, if something does not happen as per your wish, you like something and someone goes against it, doesn't do that. You dislike something and someone does it. You get angry. Both ways. So, but as there is a Buddhist saying that anger is like, holding a piece of burning charcoal in the hand with the intent of, hurling it at someone. You are holding a burning charcoal. So first you are burning your hand, then only you are throwing it to others. And, he may duck also, he may not get burnt also, but you are definitely burning your hand. So now that's why anger happens when our desires are blocked. And desires are, as I said, they are towards our likes as well as dislikes. So if the expectations are unmet, our mind reacts with frustration. There is a frustration, there is hatred, there is, with anger comes revenge, violence. You see road rages. What is road rage? Road rage is nothing but anger leading to violence, anger leading to verbal duels. You see so many cases of revenge taking place. Revenge out of anger. So these are the symptoms. Irritability, you get irritated. It could be result into road rage. Rage ultimately, resulting in violence. It could be in the form of a revenge, vengeance. That could be the outlet of your anger. So that is anger. Next comes lobha, greed. Now, greed is the inability to feel satisfied. Unlike desire, which is something specific, greed constantly says, I need more. You see so many advertisements, that famous tagline, Ye dil mange more. What is that? That is, one of course is the desire, addiction, then greed. You want more and more of it. It is definitely driven by your ego. It represents a selfish desire. Many a times, greed, it reflects your selfish desires to possess more than, what we need or deserve. चाहिए नहीं, फिर भी, you long for that, you desire that. There are ladies, Imelda Marcos, I think. She had maybe, I think, 400, 500 pair of shoes. And there could be, some shoes which she may not have worn at all. You don't need that. It's just the greed to satisfy your ego. Now, once it comes to that, once it comes to greed, then, people can go to any extent. They can resort to unfair means. Again, in this case, greed can lead to violence, crime, stealing. Many of the stealing. And I don't have the money. I like the folding phone. I don't have the money. I am greedy. I have greed for that. Lova. So you may resort to stealing. So people become greedy when they have, you can say, a sense of insecurity, a sense of, uh, something lacking, incompleteness within themselves. Now, a very important and effective step to curb greediness or lova is if we can learn to differentiate between wants and needs. What you want and what you need. Not everything you want is, it's not equal, definitely. What you need is specific, but what you want could be anything. That is lobha. You need the basic comforts in life. You need something. But the moment it translates into let's say, better form of that, so that is greed, lobha. It said that if we live a life of contentment, santosh, we limit our endeavors to fulfilling our basic needs. Of course, the basic needs, they have changed, and they are different as per different people. So that will help curb your this growth, curb your this lova, greed. Otherwise, on the other hand, irrespective of how much we possess, we are never satisfied. That's the nature of our mind. We bola na ye dil mange more, not only for Pepsi but for many of the other things. You may want something because you saw an advertisement on the television, or your uh, friend or neighbor has that. You can be jealous of your neighbor who owns a big car, whereas you own a Maruti Alto or a Wagon. You are living in a small two-bedroom apartment, whereas you see somebody, you see the advertisements. Now these days you have the advertisements of 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, like that. You don't need that. You need is 2-bedroom. If you are husband and wife, you could jolly well do in a 2-bedroom flat. But lova, greed, arising out of jealousy, arising out of the advertisement that is enticing your mind all the time. You get into the circle of greed and you want that 4-bedroom apartment. It can go to such an extent that you may resort to some unfair means to get that money, or you may even borrow beyond your capacity to buy that. So that becomes your want, and this 2-bedroom flat is your need. So if you are satisfied, santosha, as I mentioned, with your need, what you need, so then definitely you will be able to put a curb on this enemy of your mind, which is the lobha. And it could be anything. It could be money, power, prestige, uh, uh, property, anything. Next is moha, delusion. Delusion refers to our inability, inability to see the truth and being trapped in, you can say, material bonds. Again, it has to do with that first line, asato ma satgamaya. We think, all of us think, that we can get happiness. We can receive and give happiness by attaching ourselves to things which are external to us. Whether it be objects, it could be our children, our family, to the name and fame, again, which is external. What we do not realize that they are all temporary. It's just an illusory feeling of happiness, as long as it is outside. That's why it said these Shadripus are your inner enemies, enemies of the mind. True happiness, they say, it can only come from pure love and compassion, which comes out of non-attachment. If there is something, if there is love and compassion to something or to somebody on which you don't have any, quid pro quo motives, that if I give something, I'll get something. You don't have any personal interest in that. Because attachment, what is attachment? Attachment is the result of the ego, which is always tied to a personal interest. And, we feel discouraged, we feel angry when, these are not pursued. On the other hand, if we perform our duties in a nishkam form, karma yoga, with a nishkam bhav, anything, pure joy arises. And because moha literally means bewilderment. The intellect is bewildered. You are not able to take the right decisions. You know what is right and wrong, but then once your mind gets bewildered, you will not be able to take the right decisions. In fact, in verse 63, in the ladder, first Shri Krishna starts with the desire, then attachment to the desire, then it is in 62, and then 63, it talks about the anger. It leads to anger if it is not fulfilled. We'll come to that later. And then it leads to bewilderment, clouding of judgment. Kaun sa sahi, kaun sa galat. And when you are angry, many of the times it happens that you follow the wrong path. So bewilderment. Examples is money guarantees happiness. We think that more and more money will give you more and more happiness. There are umpteen number of studies, scientific studies, which has proved this statement wrong. Up to a certain point, yes, till you are able to fulfill your basic needs, more money, good. But beyond that, if you have more money, the level of happiness almost remains at the same time. It may give a spike for a temporary period of time, but otherwise it will settle down there. Material possessions provide lasting fulfillment. If I get that 4-bedroom house, it will make me happy. I'm staying in a 2-bedroom house. If I get that 4-bedroom house, ultimately you'll be sleeping in that 1-bedroom only. Ultimately you don't need more than that. So that's again a thing which is in our mind, that material possessions, more and more of it, will provide lasting fulfillment. And that comes from this bewilderment. Your judgment is clouded. Next comes fifth is pride, mother. Now, some of the words which are commonly used to describe mother are, you can say, arrogance, pride, deceit, conceit, selfishness. Now, a person with these traits, they always have a high opinion of himself and tries to belittle others. I am superior than you, the pride. And pride could be because of various things. Pride could be your position. Yes, I am the director, you're just a clerk. तुम्हारी औकात क्या है? In Hindi films, we often hear this dialogue. तो औकात क्या है का? What is working behind is the pride. It could be about your beauty. I am more beautiful than you. It's a feeling. It's only your feeling. It may not be others. Others may feel the totally different way. It's your feeling. Wealth. We see the billionaires list. Who is the wealthiest person in the world? Whether it is Warren Buffett or Bill Gates or whoever. Mother. Knowledge. Even knowledge. You can be, you can feel proud about, that, I know more than you. Physical strength. I am more stronger than you. Anything, that can, result in pride. Even yogis, I mean, forget about these things. These are about normal people. Even yogis, who develop the special powers, they're called the siddhis, and many of them have the special powers. They get it after, intense austerities and meditation and different practices. They can develop arrogance about their power. Even that is not good. So even forget about the yogi, even humility. We say that you have to be humble, but even humility can sometimes become a source of pride. I am more humble than others. You are humble, that's a very good thing. But the moment you think, I am more humble than him, so then it is pride. That's not good. Being humble is good. Being proud of your humility is not good. Finally, matsarya. Very important. Jealousy. Uski साड़ी मेरी साड़ी से सफेद कैसे? That famous tagline. I think Surf सर्फ डिटर्जेंट का ad था. I mean, when we were kids, I mean, we used to hear that. Now maybe it's off. उसकी साड़ी मेरी साड़ी से सफेद कैसे? That's the tagline, and that's what jealousy. It's there in the advertisement every time. I mean, if you see many of the advertisements today, they all thrive on these enemies, all these things. Pride. They say golf facing, apartments. So that tomorrow you can say, I stay in a golf facing apartment, sea facing apartment in Mumbai. If you go to the Hotel Taj, the sea facing rooms are, multiple times pricier than the rooms which are on the backside. So it is, Matsarya is sorrow at another person's happiness or success. You feel happy. Not you feel happy. You cannot tolerate other person's happiness or success. So It's always there, whether you like it or not, in different measures and unconsciously, because we do not analyze our thoughts, we do not analyze our mind. We'll come to that's the remedy part. We'll come to that. But we all have that. Unconsciously, it sits in our mind, and we behave as per that. Jealousy. Simple envy. I wish I had that. Where does it arise from? It's not exactly jealousy. It could be lobha also, greed also, but it could be jealousy also. Because jealousy and greed, they are, you can say they are the first cousins. They are very closely related. Both of them, they arise from dissatisfaction and inadequacy. Perceived. Perceived dissatisfaction and inadequacy. You feel like something is lacking in my life. So when a person sees that others have items that they also want, they become jealous. And if you just analyze yourself, you will find that, yes, at any point of time, anything. And as I said, the range is phenomenal. It is comparing your lifestyle, which includes so many things, with a big house, big car, big size television. It could be anything. Workplace rivalry, like your position. Jealous of the position that you hold in organization. Academic competition, the degrees that you have. You could be jealous of he has so many degrees, I don't have that. Professional jealousy. It could be anything and everything. And jealousy surely destroys inner peace. Your peace of mind is destroyed because jealousy, because your attention become focused on others instead of your personal growth. What you are focusing is, what that person has, rather than focusing your own well-being, own personal growth. You are focusing on others. Your focus shifts. And that results in all these negative traits, which, goes into the mind. No good. The last enemy of the mind. So let's move. Only the advertisement you might have remember. That devil, the tagline, neighbor's envy, owner's pride. It has both. Neighbor's envy. The advertisement says that if you have an Onida television, so it is your neighbor's envy. So neighbors will envy you. And it says owner's pride. You take pride in, that, yes, I have Onida television. Of course, it's gone now, but I still remember, so effective was the tagline. Neighbor's envy, owner's pride. You will remember, it used to come many years back. Now, this is the chain, how the Shadripus are connected. As I said, everything starts with a desire. And of course, an unholy desires, which, as I said, it arises out of the pleasure that you get out of your sensory organs, the 5 gyanendriyas that you have. Out of the 5 sensory organs, the initial desire, very innocent looking desire, pops up. Then you get attached to it. Once you get attached to it, you want more of it. And when you are wanting more of it, if it is obstructed, you are angry. So desire is obstructed, it leads to anger, krodha. And then if the desire is fulfilled, it is obstructed, it results in anger. But if it is fulfilled, it results in pride. Yes, you have desired something, you have it. It grows into greed, lobha. You want more and more of it. You like something, you want one unit, after some time, you want more, you want more, you want more of a different variety. And this attachment to this object of desire creates delusion. This anger creates delusion. Your judgment is clouded. You're not able to see what is right and what is wrong. Shreya and Priya, we have heard that, Shreya and Priya. So you're not able to differentiate between what is good for you in the short run and what is good for you in the long run. The desire that one scoop of ice cream will definitely give you, some temporary pleasure for, few moments. Just imagine if you're having the ice cream, for the moment it is there in your mouth before it gets melted, you feel pleasure. Once it's gone, it's gone. But the harm that it does, if you have, let's say, sugar or something, so the harm that it does is permanent. So that desire is no good. It results in bewilderment, clouding your judgment. Then you compare, it creates jealousy also, matsarya. Your desire is also created by jealousy, that he has that, so I also desire that. So that's jealousy. So basically what you see that each reinforces the other, and what it creates a mental agitation, mental disturbance. It plays havoc with your peace of mind. It creates suffering. You may go into a depression. Not getting something, it may lead to anxiety and even depression. So that's what it is. Now we come to some of the practices. The spiritual significance of it. We come to now spirituality basics. We come to spirituality. So now, according to Vedanta, yoga, and many Hindu traditions, the all of them say that these Shadripus, these six inner enemies of the mind, they obscure the mind's clarity. They put a veil, avaran, behind the reality. That's what it does. So I'm not able to see what is real. And a mind which is dominated by these tendencies, these six tendencies, cannot perceive the deeper nature of the self. As I said, the purpose of everyone's life is self-realization, realizing who you truly are. Who am I? That's the simple but the big question in life. But if you have these tendencies, they will make your mind impure, and then you will not be able to achieve self-realization. They will obstruct your way in looking at your true nature, which is the Atman, which is the consciousness that you truly are. Now, some of the traditional practices which are recommended to weaken them, as I said, they cannot go away totally. In fact, desire as a trait, desire, as a trait is good as long as desire for things which further your spiritual goals. So desire has to be there, but the negative desires, those must be curbed. So first is self-awareness through meditation. Meditation is, in fact, we'll be doing a meditation after some time. So we'll see that once you address those six enemies and how to control them also little bit. So that is introspection, and that will weaken them. It will help weaken them. Ultimately, you will have to do discrimination, viveka between permanent and impermanent. Now, if you are able to identify that, yes, this is not permanent, relationship, let's say, relationships are not permanent. Someone could be very good to you today. I mean, it could be your enemy tomorrow. So you have to discriminate between what is permanent and impermanent. Asato ma satgamaya. Unreal and real. Discrimination, detachment, vairagya. So once you know what is real and what is unreal, there is a natural tendency that you go for which is real. You will try to stay away from all these six enemies. Selfless service to reduce ego. As I just mentioned, that if you are doing something for yourself, it may lead to pride, it may lead to greed, it may lead to anything. But if you are doing something with a nishkam bhavna, any seva that you do, without any expectation of something in return, so it reduces your ego. Whereas it has been found that you get more happiness. Because most of the time, what you are doing, हम अपने लिए तो काम करते हैं ना. When we do something, we do that for ourselves, our family. When we think it gives us happiness, it of course does. But it has been found, as I said, Dr. Martin Seligman, he did a study. I will not go into the study. I've quoted it a number of times. So that if you do something for others, it gives you much more lasting happiness, which is much more lasting. Devotion, bhakti to transform emotions. They say bhakti is a huge binding force. The same desire for material things can be, because desire is a trait, personal trait. The same desire can be directed or diverted towards God realization. Yes, I want God realization. Bhakti, I want self-realization. So your desire is diverted. This in the course of the river is diverted. So desire, rather than going this way, your desires go the other way. Shreya and Priya again. Finally, ethical living, yamas and niyamas to cultivate discipline. They are very important because niyama, I will not go into the detail. If you see the Raj Yoga, there are the 8 limbs of yoga. So the first is yama and niyamas, which goes to, asteya, you should not steal, you should not accept gifts, so many things. You should not tell lies. So these are basically ethical and moral living. So that is also important. So because, as I said, the goal is not to suppress emotions, but to understand them. Because in all our case, the emotions are different. And then transform them. As I said, in the case of bhakti, you transform your desire from, some that I want this material thing to I want God. I want God realization. I want self-realization. I want my spiritual growth and work towards that. So it's not about fighting an external battle. That's an external battle. How to acquire a four-bedded house, or how to acquire a bigger car or SUV. And it is an internal battle that today I have bhakti, I will increase my bhakti. Today I am doing selfless work, I will do more selfless work. Nishkam karma, karma yoga. It's all about cultivating your mind. You are cultivating a mind that is free, that is balanced, that is capable of wisdom. You are making your mind capable of taking the right decisions. No bewilderment, no forced decision, no decision out of anger, no decision out of your envy, no road rage, no decision out of your greed. You be satisfied with your need and not want more, which could be termed as greed. So these are decisions of wisdom. So that's why all our sages, our Maharishis, even the scriptures, that they did not teach us that Shadripu should be hated or forcibly suppressed. Rather, they saw them as opportunities for inner transformation. These are all opportunities. You have a huge desire. There's a trait, desire. It's an opportunity. You redirect that elsewhere. So the same desire you're using for inner transformation for other things. And if you start fighting these inner enemies effectively, then the mind becomes calm. Mind is not agitated that मुझे और चाहिए, लोभा, moha, anger. All these things, if you just eliminate and try to imagine your mind, it is calm, it is clear, it is resilient, full of wisdom, taking the right decisions. That's how it should be. Problems will come. I mean, you cannot run away from problems. But how you deal with them, so that is important. Now, in Vedanta, such a purified mind, I mean, they call it Chitta Shuddhi. In Vedanta language, it's Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta, mind, Shuddhi is the purification. They say it's the, ideal instrument for realizing one's true nature, which is the Atman self-realization. And because, as I said, every human being seeks happiness because that's where we're living. Uh, uh, the purpose of Vedanta, one line, Attantika dukkha nivritti paramananda prapti. Attantika dukkha nivritti. First comes the suffering, that we want to reduce our suffering, and Paramananda Prapti. We want eternal happiness. Of course, I mean, eternal is possible only in Vedanta. That's why it says. So these are the two things which we are living for, even our secular life. All of us. What we are doing, we are living our life for. First is we want to reduce our suffering in any form, physical, mental, anything. And secondly, we want happiness. उसी के लिए हम जी रहे हैं, उसी के लिए सब कुछ कर रहे हैं. But what to do, how to go about, that's exactly what we are, what you are trying to learn here. Now, whether you pursue wealth, relationship, your achievement, the underlying objects is always happiness. We believe that, something, if we do, something which we do not presently have, if we get that, it will make us happy. That four-bedroom house will make us happy. That bigger car will make me happy. If I get a 65 inches television, it will make me happy. So that's our perception of happiness. And if you see, for much of our life, this assumption goes unquestioned. We do not question it. यही सच है. This is what his life is all about. This is the truth. And we move from one object to another. This object gives me happiness, to another object gives me happiness. We are convinced that, your fulfillment lies in the next acquisition. Even today, if you if you try to make out a list and what all you want, you will find so many things which are material things, so many things that you are working for, which is your next achievement. It could be object, it could be relationships, or it could be some experience of something. In fact, don't get me wrong, there is nothing unusual about it. That's how we live our life, all of us. But again, here this but comes. That is the teaching of this session. If we pause and examine our experience carefully, you have to give it a pause. An interesting question emerges. When we acquire something we strongly desire, we have acquired that. Where exactly is the happiness experienced? Where is the happiness? Suppose you buy a new car. Now it's a long awaited, after a long time, you are able to, big car. Where is the happiness? Where does the feeling of happiness arise? Is it in the object? Is it sitting in the car? Tomorrow it may crash and it will be a total loss ho sakta hai. It can be gone forever. Or is it experienced within the mind? It is in your mind. So all our happiness and sadness is happening in your mind. And that is the reason, the purity of mind, what gives you happiness, what should give you happiness, and what should not give you happiness, you should be able to discriminate. Now, many believe that purity of mind means that, you should not have any negative thoughts. You should always have a moral perfection. You should never have jealousy, greed, pride. बिल्कुल नहीं होना चाहिए दिमाग में. Not possible. Because they will be there. If you are living in this world, if you are sitting in the Himalayas, that is different. But if you are able to living in a secular world, it will be there. But how you tackle them, how you address them, that is important. So the question is not whether these thoughts arise. The question is whether you become enslaved to them, whether you are dictated by that desire, dictated by that want, dictated by the greed you have that for object, dictated by the pride that you have in yourself. That should not happen. So that's our endeavor should be. Now we come to the quickly, some daily practices, what you should do. We have to do it quickly. Oh my God. 5 daily practices. I'll just quickly browse through them. First, become aware of your thoughts. As I said, it's all in the mind. So you have to be aware of your thoughts. Pause. Press the pause button. What is occupying my mind today? What did I think about? Should I be thinking about that? Did it bring peace to me, or did my mind get agitated? So become aware of your thoughts. Watch the birth of desire. Whenever a strong desire happens next time, give it a pause, give it a thought. You see where did it come from? Where did it germinate? Have I been thinking about it? Will fulfilling this desire satisfy me permanently? Yes or no? Third, transform anger into inquiry. Instead of asking, who made me angry, ask which desire is frustrated. Now, the single question shifts responsibility from the outside world to the inner world. You have to all the time look at the inner world to self-understanding. Feed the mind noble impressions. As I said, channeling your desires, because the mind cannot remain empty. If it is not nourished with wisdom, it will be filled with distraction. And there is so much of distraction, starting with your smartphone. So choose carefully what enters your mind. There's a garbage in, garbage out. You're careful about your RO, you're careful about the expiry date of your food. Now choose carefully what you are letting your mind enter. Read some good literature. Listen to some, good YouTube videos, nice teachings. Spend people, spend time with, people who can, elevate your thinking. Satsang, jisko kehte hain. Practice gratitude. Meditate daily. These are the practices. Finally, remember the divine. Now, Krishna's prescription is simple. You remember the divine, surrender to the divine, not during formal worships, but all the time. Not during while you are doing the puja every day, morning and evening, you remember the God, but all the time, while you're walking, while you're working, while you are speaking, all the time. Am I doing the right thing as per the wishes of the God? So I think that's about all. We'll just go into quickly the guided meditation session. I am already running behind time. So please settle down. I'll play the video and we'll go into the guided meditation session. So sit comfortably. I'll start. Just say yes that you are able to hear. Just say yes. Sit comfortably. Are you able to hear? Someone say yes. To settle into its own. Are you able to hear?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Great, great, great. Please unmute and settle down. Get ready for this meditation session. Sit comfortably with your back straight, shoulders relaxed, hands comfortably resting on your knees, or you may place them on your lap. Softly close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in and gently breathe out. Again, breathe in, filling your lungs completely, and slowly exhale, releasing any tension. One more time, inhale peace. Exhale all that you no longer need. Allow your breathing to settle into its own natural rhythm. There is nothing to achieve, nothing to force, nothing to change. Simply become aware, aware of the gentle movement of your breath. Notice the coolness as you breathe in. Notice the warmth as you breathe out. Let each breath anchor you in this present moment. Now gently bring your awareness inwards. Imagine that your mind is like the surface of a quiet lake. Thoughts may arise like ripples. Do not resist them. Simply watch them. Each ripple eventually settles. Your true nature is not the ripple. Your true nature is the still water beneath. Now silently repeat to yourself, I am the witness. Again, I am the witness. One more time. I am the witness. Feel yourself resting as the observer of all thoughts, all emotions, all sensations. Now bring to mind the first inner enemy, karma, desire. Notice any longing, a desire, a vasana that may exist within you. Perhaps the desire for success, recognition, pleasure, possessions, or approval. Do not judge these desires, simply observe them. See them like clouds passing across the vast sky of awareness. Ask yourself gently, what do I truly seek behind or beneath every desire? Rest with the question. Perhaps the answer is peace, perhaps love, or perhaps wholeness. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, silently repeat, may wisdom guide my desires. Now coming to the second enemy, krodha, anger. Become aware of any anger that may rest within you. Perhaps anger towards another person, towards yourself, towards circumstances, any anger you may pick. Now notice
where it lives within the body, the jaw, the shoulders, or the chest. Without pushing it away, simply breathe into that place. Imagine each breath creating space around the anger. Recognize that anger often protects an unmet need or a hidden hurt. So silently repeat, I choose understanding over reaction. Again, I choose understanding over reaction. Feel the heart becoming softer and softer. Now comes lobha, greed. Now notice any feeling of never having enough. Any feeling. Enough money, enough success, enough appreciation, enough certainty. See how the mind continually reaches and seeks for more and more. Now imagine opening your hands. Instead of grasping, you are allowing. Take a slow, deep breath and silently repeat, I already have enough for this moment. Feel the gratitude that is gently filling your heart. Next is a very important enemy, moha, attachment and delusion. Bring awareness to the things you cling on to, an identity, a role, a relationship, or an expectation. Notice how tightly the mind may hold them. Now imagine placing each one on the flowing surface of a peaceful river. Watch them drift gently downstream. You are not losing them. You are simply releasing the need to control them. So silently repeat, I trust the flow of love. I trust the flow of life. Feel a sense of spaciousness. The next enemy is mada, pride. Now observe the sense of I, the big ego. Notice any need to prove yourself, to appear superior, to always be right without criticism. Simply smile gently. Recognize that every gift you possess has been shaped by countless people, experiences, and conditions. Take one slow, deep breath. Feel the gratitude for all those who have contributed to your journey. Notice how the body feels. Notice the silentness of your mind. Humility opens my heart, gratitude into the rest of the day. Humility, remember, opens my heart. Gratitude is not something big.
I'll just read it out. There was some overlapping of the video. So stay there. Focus inwards. I'll start with Lobha, the greed. Now notice any feeling of never having enough. Enough money, enough success, enough certainty. See how the mind continually reaches for more. Imagine opening your hands. Instead of grasping, you are allowing. You are giving. Take a slow, deep breath and silently repeat, I already have enough for this moment. Feel the gratitude gently filling your heart. Next is a very important enemy, moha, attachment and delusion. Bring awareness to the things you cling to, an identity, a role, a relationship, an expectation. Notice how tightly the mind may hold to them. Now imagine placing each one on the flowing surface of a peaceful river. Watch them drift gently downstream. You're not losing them. You are simply releasing the need to control them. So silently repeat, I trust the flow of life. Mother, pride is the next enemy. Observe the sense of I, the big ego. Notice any need to prove yourself, to appear superior, to be always right without criticism. Simply smile gently. Recognize that every gift you possess has been shaped by countless people, experiences, and conditions. Feel the gratitude for all those who have contributed to your journey. So silently repeat, humility opens my heart. Allow the burden of ego to become lighter. Finally, the last enemy, Matsarya, jealousy. Now notice any comparisons your mind creates. Someone else's success, someone else's happiness, someone else's achievements. See these comparisons gently dissolving. Imagine that another person's light does not diminish your own. Visualize your inner light growing brighter and brighter. Now silently bless those around you. May they be happy. May they flourish. may they find peace. And now include yourself. May I be happy. May I flourish. May I find peace. Feel your heart expanding. Now allow all 6 Shadripus to dissolve like mist in the morning sun. Desire, anger, greed, attachment, pride, jealousy, all come and all go. But something within you remains unchanged. Awareness. Rest in that awareness. There is nothing to become, nothing to acquire, nothing to repeat, nothing to prove. So silently say to yourself, so hum, I am that. Again, aham brahmasmi, I am one with the infinite reality. Feel these words not merely as ideas, but as a quiet invitation to rest in your deepest nature. Now offer gratitude to your body, to your breath, to your mind, to all those who have guided you. Take one deep breath in, slowly breathe out. Remember to carry this awareness into every conversation, every decision, every challenge. Remember, the Shadripus are not enemies to be feared. They are teachers that reveal where greater awareness, compassion, and wisdom are needed. May your mind become clear. May your heart remain open. May you walk in peace. Now slowly become aware once again of your breathing. Become aware of your body, the room around you. Gently move your fingers, move your toes. Bring your palms together at your heart, if that feels natural. Slowly open your eyes. Thank you so much. I'm sorry there was some problem with the video. There was some overlapping while recording. A portion of the previous meditation session was also there, was not deleted. So that's all for today. I'm sorry it's extended much beyond the time. And I'll end with a prayer. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mriturma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you so much. Yeah, I should actually look at my watch more often. There was something which was there, which was the progression of how to move from Karam Yoga to Raj Yoga to Bhakti Yoga to Gyan Yoga, which since I had already overshot, so I just skipped it. Which was a line is there in the presentation. So I think maybe some quick observations, or I think or it's already past 10 o'clock. We'll close the session. Right. Thank you so much, and see you in a fortnight's time with another topic. Bye bye till then, and stay blessed. Thank you so much.